Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by X Insurance. X Insurance. From the SIG Sauer Studios. On the Patriot Mobile Platinum microphone. Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
And here we go. It's garbage day at Armed American Radio's ranch today. How are you? Mark Walters filling your prescription for freedom today in the SIG Sauer Studios in front of this Patriot Mobile Communication and Command Center microphone. And, of course, it's all being brought to you by the great X Insurance. Greg in Dallas, Tejas, how you doing, my brother?
Not too bad, man. Glad the cold weather has blown through.
We always start the show lately with the weather, but honestly, I don't know which way to go, hot or cold. I mean, it's 80 degrees here today, which is a beautiful thing.
Right.
I don't mind that at all. But the AC's going, then you got all the equipment hot, and then later on it'll cool off and the heat will go on. My guitars and my cigar humidor don't know what to do.
Well, we're in that period of time in Texas where you wear a hoodie and shorts, or you have the heater going in the morning and the AC in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's called a Texas suit, and you make sure you're carrying a gun as well. Greg, we're live on tons of platforms around there today. Would you tell people where they can watch the program and participate in the chat, and then we'll get to our guest. We have her for this segment, Rachel Stillwell from North American Arms. Way too much fun. The products over there are amazing. We'll go there in just a second. I'll let you fire away, and then we'll take it away.
Yeah, if you want to watch the show, just search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters on Rumble, YouTube, and Fascist Book over at X. It's at AAR Mark. And if you want to join our live chat, all you have to do is head on over to your app store, grab the Telegram messaging app, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
As the old cartoon characters would say, boom, pow, zam, that'll get you in. Rachel from North American Arms, welcome to the program today. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing wunderbar. The weather, you're in Utah. You still have snow on the ground, don't you?
Not anymore. They just barely melted, but it's still like 40, 50 here, so not quite spring.
But that's okay. It's coming. It's right around the corner. So, yay.
Yes, that's what we're praying for.
Yay for Utahns, man. I love you guys. Got a lot of great companies out there. North American Arms. You are with North American Arms. Let's talk about these amazing products. And I kind of want to go through a number of them with you today. But before I do that, this is the 50th anniversary for North American Arms. That's quite a milestone. And you guys literally lead the pack when it comes to these minis. There's nothing like a North American Arms mini revolver, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I've carried one for years and years and years. The quality, the build, the feel, everything about these guns is amazing. What's happening for the 50th year anniversary? Tell us. Give us some cool info.
Yeah, so like you said, it's our 50th anniversary, and this year we're just trying to really celebrate the 50 years of history that we've had. We're made in the USA. We're known for producing, like you said, the smallest, most dependable little guns on the market. So this year, for now, we're pushing out our 50th anniversary belt buckle. So we're kind of known as being the belt buckle gun company, right? And then this is just a nod to that, and it says 50th anniversary. It's plated in gold Cerakote, so we're excited for it.
So is that out now? Can we go there and get it?
It is not out on the shelves yet. We're shipping it out to distributors, so it should be available soon.
Okay. Now, as you know, I have the North American Arms belt buckle, not the 50th anniversary edition. And that thing, it's kind of like my Thompson. You know, it's a family heirloom right out of the box is the way I can describe that. Now, I've worn it, and I think it's very cool. I can wear it around here. Many of you might not be able to do that. I don't wear it a lot, and I hate to call it a safe queen, Rachel, but this thing is so cool. The weight, the feel, the look, the style. I don't think there's anything cooler in the lineup than that. Yeah, and that's just my personal opinion. Would you agree with me on that, particularly that one that's plated with the gold for the 50th anniversary?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's definitely our most unique product that we have in our lineup. Whenever I go to these shows, people come up to me and they're like, I've seen these on the internet, right? You know, I had a buddy who had one of these. They're really awesome little products that people love to collect.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm on the website, and I don't want you to do it now, particularly if you're driving. Don't do any of that, please. Make sure you're listening to the show. But when you go to the website and you click on top of Firearms on the menu and hit 22 long rifle, the first thing that's going to pop up is the NAA 22 long rifle belt buckle. And it's just described as a long rifle, oval, ornate belt buckle. It's beautiful and priced. It's only $340. So I got to tell you, that is a screaming deal for this thing. And, you know, like I said, I keep mine in my safe, and it's one of those things that I'll take out and just kind of play with from time to time, you know, because it's so cool and it's functional. A lot of people think, is that a real gun? Yeah, that's a real gun. It pops out of that belt buckle very, very easy. So it's completely usable. There's no question about it. And then the NAA 22 long rifle for $255. That's one of my favorite. What else is going on for the 50th anniversary besides the belt buckle? Anything else coming up, or should we just move to some other of the quality firearms there?
Yeah, so these products aren't necessarily tied to our 50th, but we are putting out in the spring. We're just doing a little pink 22 Magnum and then a companion purple long rifle. So those will be Easter, Mother's Day time period, so we can get those out. They make cute little gifts for anyone who you're shopping for. So we're excited for that too.
They make great gifts. Now, are those going to be limited editions, or are those going to be steady in the lineup?
For now, we're thinking about keeping them in the lineup, but obviously we'll see how they do. But I think that they're beautiful, and obviously I'm biased, but they've got a pearl grip on it. They got the pink purple Cerakote. They're really awesome. So
you're going to sell the crap out of those things, by the way. You really will, because those are very popular. You know, other manufacturers have the pink guns, and that's going to sell like crazy. There's no doubt about it. The Earl is one of my favorite guns. That, and I think I told you, I might not have told you the story. I did tell listeners the story, but I was heading up to a small vacation up in a cabin in the woods a few months back last year, and I had left my firearm at home. That never happens, but it did. And I stopped at a local gun shop, and the owners were able to hook me up with the pocket, with the holster grip gun, and I took that gun with me everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, that 22 in Magnum, I have no fear of that gun whatsoever as far as self-defense is concerned, Rachel. None whatsoever, because they pack a powerful little punch, and I've always referred to them, as you know, as the gun you can carry when you can't carry a gun. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll let you figure that one out however you want, but I always use the example, maybe your mother-in-law doesn't like guns, right? And you don't want to hug your mother-in-law because she just drove all this time to get to you, and you don't want her to feel the gun on your waist. The North American Arms fits the bill, doesn't it, Rachel? I mean, it disappears.
It sure does. And the holster grip, like you said, I mean, it just folds over, acts as a trigger guard, and it just clips right in your pocket. A lot of people think it's just a pocket knife sitting in there with that pocket clip. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, there are a whole slew of reasons why somebody might not feel comfortable having a visible gun on them, whether you're a doctor, a nurse, a school teacher. There's so many people who I've talked to who just carry this gun as a backup, something that they have just in case, you know, and that's kind of the times that we're living in now where that might be a possibility. So
absolutely. And something else I want to mention about that holster grip gun, ladies and gentlemen, the model number is NAA 22LR-HG, the 22 long rifle, of course. But the grip really extends. That holster grip, when it folds out, really gives you a whole hand feel of the gun. It does not feel like one of the North American Arms mini revolvers. It actually feels more like a compact gun, maybe something the size of a 365 or something, just because of, number one, the weight, and number two, the size of the holster grip itself. So, guys, you're carrying a gun when you're carrying this mini. Do not be afraid to carry this. I carry one as a backup with me everywhere I go, and there are certain situations it's my number one carry gun. So it's an EDC for those of you who might not know what that is. If you're new to the show, it's an everyday carry. But Rachel, you can take that thing to the beach. You can put it in a bathing suit. Any one of these minis. Now, most of them come with the option for the long rifle and also the Magnum swap out, right?
Yes. So all of our Magnum models have a conversion cylinder option where you can, maybe you want to carry it with mag because it's a little bit more powerful, but maybe you want to take it to the range and shoot it with long rifle just because it's a little bit easier of an ammo to buy. So, all
right, I'm going to give you the last word here because we're coming to the end of the segment. Tell people where they can go to get these. And guys, they're priced super right. They just are. Where can people go to find these and all the cool stuff? You've got 30 seconds.
Yeah, so you should just be able to head to your local FFL. We have a pretty wide range of distributors in the United States. So head to your local FFL. Any big box outdoor store should be able to carry them, order them in for you. So, yeah, I mean, like he said, pretty affordable, pretty easy to find. So, yeah, just head out, get yourself a North American Arms mini revolver. They'll change your life for sure.
They will definitely change your life. And I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the customer service there is amazing. If you ever need work done on the firearm, they'll swap it out for you very, very quickly. They're that good over there. I've had a cousin that just did that not too long ago and thanked me for sending him back over to North American Arms. Rachel, thank you for being here. We love your products. We love you guys. We'll see you back here in 4 minutes on the flip side of the break, ladies and gentlemen. Armed American Radio listeners, clear off your desks and get ready for your new hobby. Man, that segment flew right by. by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is a Patriot Mobile phone, ladies and gentlemen. It's an Apple iPhone, obviously, but it is activated at Patriot Mobile. You can do the same thing, patriotmobile.com, and support them for supporting you and supporting your causes, your conservative lifestyle, and more importantly than all of that, your gun rights. And they do. It's right there on the website. You can read it for yourself at patriotmobile.com/AAR. And you can order right off that site. It's super easy to do. It's very user-friendly, and they're great folks over there. If you need any customer service, they've got you covered. Welcome back inside the SIG Sauer studios with me, Mark Walters, filling your prescription for freedom here on Armed American Radio's Daily Defense in front of the Patriot Mobile microphone, all brought to you by X Insurance. And Greg, welcome back in. We're going to cover some self-defense happy ending stories for the remainder of the program today because there's a bunch of them out there.
All right.
And they're fun to cover. But before I do that, ladies and gentlemen, I had mentioned yesterday that I wanted to cover this bill moving in Georgia. And I want to make this point again. It doesn't matter where you live. I don't care Trump's in office. They're coming after you. They're coming after us here in a bright red state. Yeah, I know, John Ossoff and Warnock. Yeah, that was a 2020 anomaly. They'll both be gone soon. I can promise you that. Ossoff, no doubt, in 26 will be history. He's going to lose that race. I'll say that right now and make that promise. But what are they doing here in a bright red state? Normally, it's the Democrats, Greg, that continue to put these nonsense anti-gun bills out year after year after year in the state legislative sessions. You know that, right?
Yeah, obviously.
So that's not a shock. In a state like Georgia, when you get bipartisan support on a particular bill and it's cloaked, take a listen to this. Today, Wednesday, February 26th, while we're live, there was a hearing on HB 472 here in Georgia in the House Public Safety and Homeland Security Committee. Sounds kind of benign, doesn't it?
Okay, yeah.
The bill will allow the Georgia World Congress Center to ban firearms on their property, which there was a last-minute deal last year that threatened to do that. This bill, ladies and gentlemen, would in effect completely wipe out and overturn excuse me, Georgia carry and all gun owners in Georgia hard-fought Supreme Court decision in the Atlanta Botanical Gardens case, where the Supreme Court agreed that you cannot ban guns on that property. So what they're trying to do is skirt it now through legislation and wipe out that Supreme Court victory by using the World Congress Center. So if you live in the state of Georgia, make sure, particularly if your local representative is on that House Public Safety and Homeland Security Committee, contact them via phone. If not by phone, by email. Email them immediately. And if you need ideas on how to do that, you can visit Georgia2A.org, GA2A.org, formerly known as Georgia Carry, and politely ask him or her, your rep, to keep that bill in committee and not allow the bill to go forward. There is a possibility that that bill will move in the state of Georgia, which will wipe out what was essentially years, Greg, of hard-fought victories on keeping them from being able to do that. So the point that I'm making, folks, is it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter that Trump's in office. You are not safe anywhere. In bipartisan support on a bill that, I mean, what is it, Greg, do you think about the Georgia World Congress Center that, I don't know, makes them so special that for gun safety reasons, law-abiding people can't go in and carry a firearm, but we're safe everywhere else? What is it about the World Congress Center? I'll tell you.
Well, the peasants, a.k.a. the citizens, regardless if they're law-abiding or not, are
I know
not
you
allowed.
hate that term. I know you hate that term.
Well, you guys keep using it as, and it's like, guys, this is nonsense using this term for, citizens are allowed to carry. The thing is these people think they're above you, and they will find any and every way to disarm you, and they'll do it in any way they can, and they'll come up with every little scheme because they're conniving little rats.
They're punks.
Yeah.
They're just punks. They carry a gun anywhere they want.
Or they have people that defend them carrying guns anywhere they want.
Anywhere they want. And it elevates them in their mind. And a lot of these folks are, just like I said before, they act like HOA, board
Karens.
members who for some reason love to attack their neighbors because they have nothing else going on in their life that gives them any power or authority. And it's aggravating, but the bigger picture here is that you are not safe anywhere. It's pretty much that simple. Greg, let's go on the fly today and cover some defensive gun uses. You ready?
Sure, let's do it.
This is fun stuff. Woman shoots and kills. Oh, before I go there, let me check this again. I think, yeah, this is a better story. I screened these out. New York man, see, these are the headlines, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do this on the fly. New York man claims self-defense after deadly shooting over alleged snowball incident.
All right.
All right, okay. Now, I'm just going to come out and say this. Under what circumstances can a snowball be considered a deadly threat? Now, we're talking New York here, too, ladies and gentlemen. You might have stood a little bit better chance in any other state or a red state, maybe. Maybe. But, Greg, just the headline. I hate the headline surf, but some of these are really fun to just look at the headline. New York man claims self-defense after deadly shooting over alleged snowball incident. If you were to just read that, what would go through your mind?
I would think possibly, because I've heard of this happening in the past, there was maybe a rock or something like that in the center of the snowball, and that was what was used as weight for the the propelling of the snowball to make it more deadly as it hit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And honestly, I would have to say that would likely be a very unusual case, right?
Yeah.
But that could be, if that were found to be the case, I could see that happening. But in this case, it was Mexico, New York, and the individual was shot and killed. On, what's the date of this? This is recent stuff, folks. February 24th, just 2 days ago, in a Tops grocery store parking lot, when the suspect, later claiming he acted in self-defense, after snowballs were thrown at his truck. Oh. Folks, if you're in your truck, drive away from the people throwing snowballs at you, okay? But this guy, 32-year-old Jacob Walsh, was shot once in the chest around 2:54 a.m. in the Top supermarket on Main Street in Mexico, New York. The alleged shooter, I don't know how you call alleged, the guy was shot and killed, but okay, media. The alleged shooter, 27-year-old Zachary W. Chilson, was arrested later that day and charged with second-degree murder and second-degree criminal possession of a weapon. He said he fired in self-defense after 2 snowballs were thrown at his truck. But there was a witness there, Greg, who, quote-unquote, paints a different picture of the events leading up to the shooting. Let's stop there. 2 snowballs were thrown at your truck. Under what circumstances, anywhere, are you going to be able to claim self-defense by shooting somebody in the chest after that? And we've only got 10 seconds. So when we come back from the break, we'll go back and revisit that because it's interesting. Here's the best advice I can give you on that, ladies and gentlemen. Drive your truck away.
20.
Or better yet, if you're not in your truck, get in your truck and drive it away. I'm afraid this guy doesn't stand a chance in New York. And this 27-year-old has got to have a long life to live behind bars. We'll be back right after this.
Daniel Defense firearms are guaranteed for life, trusted worldwide, and designed, engineered, and manufactured right here in America. Daniel Defense, freedom, passion, precision.
Yeah, Daniel Defense is freedom, passion, and precision, ladies and gentlemen. DanielDefense.com. Make sure to visit them. Get on their email list over there. You won't regret it. Some very, very cool stuff going on over there. And when you're on that list, you also, Marty Daniel's been putting out some great videos lately. So make sure to check them out, DanielDefense.com, and also visit thedoubledfoundation.org. I am beyond proud and honored to have helped that organization raise millions of dollars in support of youth shooting sports. So visit them, help them. These are the people that are coming up behind us, and they need all the help that they can get. No matter, it doesn't matter Trump's in office. Support them. And you can find all of our great partners at armedamericanradio.com. We'll talk about more of them in a subsequent break coming up. Welcome back into the SIG SAUER studios with me on dozens and dozens of radio stations. We've got some new ads and some new affiliates. I'll have to pull up that list and give them a shout out here in the coming few days. But thank you for joining the Armed American Radio Network. And thanks for tuning in, no matter what station you're on or what platform you're listening, whether it's podcast or watching us live on video on a number of social media platforms. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Greg, I got to go back to this snowball story here for a second.
All right.
Guys, this, it gets a little deeper here. A longtime friend of Walsh. Now, Walsh is the guy who was shot in the chest at 2:54 a.m. And apparently they were dumpster diving or something.
Yeah, that's
Right?
what it looks like.
Was?
They're dumpster diving when they noticed. I think the shooter's name is Tommy Coe, and so they noticed Coe's truck had been following them. And, I guess they are maybe moving from one location to another at a certain point when they're trying to hide from Coe. And a confrontation happens, and that's where the guy gets shot. But I think you're going to go into more details here.
Yeah, because at one point it says, and I'm going to quote now from this piece, at one point Coe and Walsh hid in a dumpster at a Fast Track convenience store, but when they resumed walking home, the truck reappeared, this time with its high beams on. Cole told troopers that a man got out of the vehicle, began arguing with Walsh, who's the guy that was later killed minutes later, and brandished a firearm before putting it away and engaging in a physical fight. Walsh, the man who was shot and killed, got the upper hand in the altercation, but as the suspect broke free and ran back to his truck, he turned and fired a single shot, hitting Walsh in the chest and killing him. And his companion said he was close enough to see sparks from the gun as it fired, quote unquote. And he did not mention anything about snowballs being thrown at the truck in his statement to police. The shooter fled and was subsequently arrested, taken into custody. He is now being held, Greg, without bail on murder and weapons charges. Under no circumstances can I see a snowball, even if a snowball was involved, providing the necessary defense for self-defense as an imminent threat of serious bodily harm or death. I'm sorry, I don't. So I'm going to go on record right now and say this guy doesn't stand a snowball's chance in hell of getting out of prison. I had to go there just because it was kind of...
It was bad.
Let me say it again. This guy doesn't stand a snowball's chance in hell of getting out. See, somebody out there's laughing. Somebody's got it. The more I say it, the more funnier it'll get, right?
Yeah,
but he doesn't. Now, yeah, I mean, maybe if somebody was beating him over the head with ice chunks or something like that, that would be a different story. But, folks, if you're carrying a firearm, first, and Greg, you mentioned during the break, 2:54 a.m., what's the old saying? Nothing good happens after midnight anyway.
That's correct. I mean, these guys are out dumpster diving, and this guy is, I think he's kind of taking the law into his own hands. Like, what are you guys doing dumpster diving? But to be honest, if it's not your business, move along. And then you're pursuing them as well into a neighborhood. Like, I mean, you're doing a little too much here. If anything, call law enforcement and say, hey, I think there's some guys stealing stuff out of dumpsters over here. So,
can you steal something from a dumpster?
I think there are places that do lock up their dumpsters so that when they are throwing like expired merchandise, not like edible goods or anything, but stuff, then because I see lots of videos of people dumpster diving and pulling lots of money's worth of merchandise out of dumpsters.
I'm going to bring it back to Georgia now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If it were somebody going through a dumpster at a business I owned.
It's a gray area for me. Hey, it's in the trash. I mean,
right, I might be inclined to say, hey, help me get some of this stuff out of here. I'll help you out. You need that table? Take it. I got other crap I need to put in there that won't fit.
Yeah.
But that's just me. 2 Georgia men shoot each other during parking space dispute.
Oh, great.
So as a parking, let's just use the headline, okay? Is a parking space dispute under any circumstances, just reading the headline, should it ever result in two people shooting at each other? Hey, that's my space. No, it's not. It's my space. I was there first. And guns come out? Does a parking lot dispute present an imminent threat to bodily harm or death? Now, okay, let's go a little bit deeper. A heated argument over a parking space is what escalated into gunfire. So let me tell you why this is never gonna fly. Both guys were carrying guns, right?
All right.
And this was just this past Saturday. This was just 6 days ago, or last Saturday, according to the Atlanta. Okay, well there you go. Let's move on. No shock there. According to the Atlanta PD, officers responded to reports of multiple people shot at 420 14th Street around, and here we go, 1:47 a.m.
Again, after midnight.
In Atlanta. You do not want to be in Atlanta at 1:47 a.m., folks. You just don't.
You don't want to be in Dallas at 1:47 a.m.
You don't want to be in any Democrat-run city at 1:47 a.m. Now, maybe you just get off work, whatever. Okay, there's always extenuating circumstances. But after the cops got there, they found 2 male victims and 1 female victim who was a bystander. It's an innocent bystander, all of whom were alert, conscious, and breathing. And preliminary investigation suggests that the incident began as a dispute between 2 men arguing over a parking space. At some point during the argument, gunfire was exchanged between the two, resulting in both men being shot. A bystander was also struck in the leg. You hear people say all the time, why don't you shoot him in the leg? There's a femoral artery in the leg that will bleed you out in 46 seconds.
You are correct, sir.
Okay, so that's not a safe alternative, ladies and gentlemen. Authorities are still working to determine the sequence of events. And I'm going to tell you, being here in the state of Georgia, neither one of those two is going to have a claim for self-defense. I don't see it happening. But because it's here, I'll keep my eyes on it. I've got an alert on it. We'll see what happens. But it'll be months down the road before we know anything. We already covered the Kentucky juvenile defending himself during an armed home invasion who fatally shot 2 intruders. That's a great story. And here I'm going to take you to Texas now, Greg, where an armed woman stopped a road rage attack in Houston, and it was all caught on camera.
I've seen several stories out of Houston on this page here.
Road rage, there's a number of Texas self-defense shootings, by the way, which, is that a shock to you? Texas. It's Texas.
Not at all.
No. Road rage is got to be one of the scariest things out there, folks, because we all drive. It's a necessity. And I've taught my kids from the moment when I taught them to drive, from the moment they were 15 getting a permit, never, ever, ever engage in a road rage incident. Just get away from the individual as fast as possible. If you can't, drive to a police department. Pull up at a sheriff's office. Get yourself somewhere. And, in today's day and age, I don't even think it matters if you pull yourself in to a brightly lit spot where there's other people, because these people get so enraged, they don't care. But you pull into a sheriff's office or a PD, that's likely going to have a sobering effect. But road rage is a very, very, very dangerous thing. Very dangerous. For whatever reason, people go nuts behind the wheel. Now, I'm not going to tell you that
30.
I haven't said choice words to people behind the wheel and a finger come up. I mean, we've all done it. I'm just being honest. We've all done it. Greg, you going to lie to me and tell me you've never done it?
My windshield has heard plenty of choice words.
Yeah, and probably seen choice things as well.
Yeah.
This was at 8:45 a.m. I got better things to do with my life at 8:45 than get into a road rage. Now, when we come back, I do want to cover this because, again, there are different circumstances. That was just our public service announcement on road rage. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just great advice. Avoid it at all costs. At all costs. Get away from it. Why? Most people are armed, ladies and gentlemen, and what might be a normal person outside that vehicle can be an enraged scumbag behind that wheel. It's just great advice. When we come back, we'll take a deeper dive. Don't go away right after the break. camera's back on.
This segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Daniel Defense. Visit DanielDefense.com. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, Daniel Defense, as we said before, make sure to visit them and get on that email list. You want to check out our other partners as well. Kahr Arms. You heard North American Arms. Rachel Stilwell. Phenomenal products over there at North American Arms. NorthAmericanArms.com. Kahr.com. That's Kahr.com. And, of course, MyPillow.com. Support Mike Lindell for supporting Armed American Radio for all of these years. They've had a tough year, tough 2 years. You need a pillow, you need sheets, you need towels, anything. Bedding, mattress toppers. My wife asked me just yesterday. In fact, I forgot about that until just now. It just came to mind. Can we get another mattress topper? We need one for one of the guest bedrooms. So we're going to be making another purchase over there as well. We use the same promo code. Use the promo code AAR. Get the discounts over there. That says, hey, Mike, thank you for supporting Armed American Radio for all of these years. Don't forget that. If you want to read some great stuff, you can read it over at Ammo Land. Check out The Law of Self-Defense, Andrew Branca. EmersonKnives.com. This is an Emerson knife right here. If you're watching, you can see that Emerson knife. It's a beautiful tool. It is used every single day here at Armed American Radio Ranch. And, of course, the promo code there is AAR as well. Don't forget your goat guns. Feed your new addiction. GoatGuns.com. Those things are phenomenal gifts and way, way, way addicting. I promise you, if you pick one up, you'll love it. They make great desk ornaments and on shelves, great for bars, all kinds of cool stuff and great gifts. BarrelBuddy.com. Clean your guns with BarrelBuddy.com. They're in the SIG Academy, ladies and gentlemen. What does that tell you? These things are the real deal. Pitch the patch. We've already mentioned Ammo Squared. We haven't mentioned AmmoSquared.com. AmmoSquared.com. Start stacking ammo over there. And don't forget, our exclusive online retailer, BudsGunshop.com. BudsGunshop.com. And don't forget all your pain relief supplies over at Patriots Relief, patriotsrelief.com. You get 40% off using the AAR promo code right out of the box. So make sure to check out all of our partners, and remember that all of this is brought to you every single day by the great X Insurance. Greg, let's go back to that Houston road rage deal. What do you think? This is road rage is scary stuff, right? It happens. It's happened to all of us. In this case, quoting, a road rage incident on the morning of February 13th escalated into an assault, prompting a female driver to defend herself with a firearm. The confrontation occurred, Greg, at 8:45 a.m., so it was a little bit earlier. It's probably work drive, right?
Driving into work. In Houston, you're, look, in the Houston area, you're an hour away from Houston, in Houston. So
yeah, that's a great point.
It's amazing the traffic that those people suffer. I think DFW is bad. I think Houston is way worse than North Texas is. It's just horrible out there.
I have driven Houston traffic myself many times, and it's a mess. It's easy to get into a road rage. There it is. I was in a rental car on the way back to the airport and had a flat tire. Downtown Houston. And it was a nightmare. Yeah, thankfully, I was able to pay the tow truck operator from the rental car company $50 to take me to the airport while he was towing the rental. Yeah. He wasn't supposed to do that, but he did. Anyway, a male suspect exited his vehicle and approached the woman who was still inside her car, then began assaulting her through the driver's side window. And it was during that attack on her in the vehicle that she retrieved her handgun and fired a single shot, causing the assailant to release her and quickly retreat. Release her. So he got his mitts on her. And there was surveillance footage of this. Cops said it was blurry, but it appeared to capture the moment the man approached the woman's vehicle, followed by his sudden movement away and fall, presumably the moment the shot was fired. Suspect then got back in his car and fled the scene. He was later arrested. So, where was he arrested? Probably at a hospital if he was shot. But the booking photo shows him smiling. He's being charged, with the road rage violence, and he's smiling in the mugshot. So if you that tells you a lot about the person, doesn't it?
I don't know. I see this often. I don't know if it necessarily means that they're just they're evil and they're just smiling because they're getting a mugshot. Some people have a natural reaction to smile when their photo's taken.
Well, that's a good point. But in a situation like this, I'm going to say I'm more inclined to believe that this says a lot about the person, right? Yeah, look at me. I'm getting arrested. Probably not his first rodeo. We're on radio. His first rodeo. getting a mugshot. But, it appears in this case she did what was absolutely necessary to protect herself from harm.
Well, we have no idea of who the suspect is other than a male. So, we can make inferences, but I don't know.
Well, and, here you have an obvious disparity of force in most cases. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's reaching through her driver window.
Right.
She most likely rolled it down to talk to him, like, what's going on? And that's when, things escalated, and then he grabs her.
All right, well, you bring up a great point. Should you roll the window down? I'm glad you mentioned that. Look, if you're stuck in traffic, ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever been stuck in traffic in Houston, it's highly unlikely she was able to get away.
Parking lot on the loop.
Right. Almost impossible to under any circumstances for her to get out. Now, an incident similar to that happened to me in 2002. I've talked about it on this program for years. I've written a book about it. I've been there, and I never had to fire a shot, but I would have. Thank God the business end of my gun staring at somebody stopped both of those individuals in their tracks. In this case, they got to the car. They didn't get to the car. I drew the pistol before they got to the car. They got to the car and he got to the car and got his hands on her. But that whole window down, 8:45, it's Houston, it's February 13th. I don't know what the weather was that day. It wouldn't be unusual for Houston to be pretty warm. Maybe not February 13th. I don't know.
That was during a little bit of a cold spell that we were having, but it wasn't anywhere near like what we had last week.
Yeah, so, who knows why the window was down. But let's just take it from the top. Do you put the window down? Are you going to try to have a rational conversation with someone who is exiting their vehicle because they're pissed at you? Because, oh my God, you got ahead of them, or we're going to try to get around them. God forbid your car got ahead of that loser's car, right? Road rage is the stupidest thing out there, and it's incredibly dangerous. Again, public service announcement. Avoid that at all costs, because nothing good can come from that. Just leave. Don't make eye contact. And the author of this piece, Greg, what is his name? Luke McCoy.
Yeah.
And guys, if you want to read these stories, visit USA Carry. Let me give them a shout out. They've always got a great litany of these stories every single day and every single week, and Luke does a great job. So I'll quote from him. For armed citizens, it's crucial to remember that carrying a firearm is not about ego or escalating. It's about having the ability to defend oneself when no other options remain. Great advice. The best way to handle road rage is to avoid engaging with aggressive drivers in the first place. Stay calm, avoid eye contact, and if necessary, drive to a public place or police station rather than stopping. And I'm going to tell you, if you can get to a law enforcement facility, any first responder, maybe it's a fire department, whatever it is, get yourself there if you can. Because
sometimes,
you might not have that chance, but it's a far better option than getting yourself to a grocery store parking lot, for example. Even though there might be other people around, this guy got out of a car while people were around in traffic. So it's not likely going to stop some of these people. But it's just
I was
good
just
advice.
going to jump in and say sometimes you can go to a QT. They have safe rooms. So
Yeah, maybe. Again, that's options. The key here is get away from it at all costs. Avoid it at all costs. Stop. Don't make eye contact with another driver. Somebody cuts you off, move on. And it's hard to do, okay? Because your instinctive reaction is, that's your car. Somebody might have hit, could have hit you, could have killed you. So it's easy than we can go into, but it is worth discussing on a regular basis because we all drive. So be careful out there. It's pretty much that simple. But great advice, no doubt about it. I want to thank you for being here, Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. We're going to get up and do it again tomorrow precisely because they don't want us to get up and do it again tomorrow, but that's why we're here. So until we meet on the radio again tomorrow, stay safe, enjoy your day, and remember, carry on, carry off, and carry absolutely everywhere. Never, ever, ever leave your cave without your club. No self-respecting caveman would have ever been caught outside of his cave without his club. Enjoy your day, folks. Stay safe. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow on Armed American Radio's Daily Defense here on the Armed American Radio Network. See you tomorrow, guys.